And when we talk about Israel, we're not talking about white Caucasian Europeans. We're talking about the Israel of Scripture that incorporated Armenians and Syrians and Egyptians and the sons of Ham and the sons of Japheth into the commonwealth of Israel. First Malachim 8:8. First Malachim 8:8. So when you were standing in the set-apart place, not the Holy of Holies, and you were looking toward the Holy of Holies, look, the poles were seen from the set-apart place. The speaking place, what's another way to say the speaking place? The mercy seat. Where did Yahweh speak to the Kohen Hagadol? Between the cherubim, on top of the mercy seat, he would the high priest would sprinkle the blood of atonement with his fingers 7 times, and the voice of Yahweh would come and say, "It is forgiven, it is well done, I atoned, it is forgiven." And so the voice, the speaking place, was on top of the Ark of the Covenant, but notice the poles that came outside, it didn't come out of the Ark, out of the Holy of Holies, but it protruded like this. So if you were in the holy place, this is what you would see. You would see the poles sticking out. Make sense? You wouldn't see the Ark of the Covenant because you would die if you were not the Kohen Hagadol. But you would, anybody in the holy place, meaning the Kohanim, who were allowed into the holy place, all the Kohanim saw the poles sticking out.
Which would be here?
Correct.
Which would be here.
I can't see from here, but I'll take your word for it.
There would be a protrusion on the side.
Correct. It would be a protrusion from that curtain. Remember the curtain that was torn in two when Yeshua died?
That's right.
It was the poles protruding through the curtain. You couldn't see it, but you could see the protrusion.
Right. On both sides, you can see the protrusion.
Correct.
Yes.
Now the question is, listen, the question is, why would Yahweh allow, don't forget, how big was the Holy of Holies? Listen to me, you might learn something. How big was the Holy of Holies? 15 by 15. Okay? Why would Yahweh not make it a little bit bigger? 16 by 16. 17 by 17. Why did Yahweh have to allow the poles to stick out? Didn't it just say it stuck out? Didn't it just say the poles were visible from the set-apart place? Didn't it just say that?
Yes.
Because Yahweh was reminding Israel, don't take me for granted. I could move out of here anytime I want.
Yes.
Don't take me for granted. The poles are the chariot, the wheels. And the same way the angels accompanied me into this space, I could take the 2 cherubim on top of the mercy seat with my voice and my presence and my voice and my melachim and my chariots and my drivers and the driver, Yeshua. And all these things can move out when you disobey my voice. You think about what I'm telling you.
Yes. Very serious.
You think about what I'm telling you. Well, I don't know about this Rosh Chodesh. I can't make it for Rosh Chodesh, Rabbi. I can't do the Torah. I can't make it every Moed. You know what you're saying? You know what you're saying? You're saying I can't do the Torah. And Yahweh says in Deuteronomy 30, don't say in your heart, it's hard. Who shall go to heaven and pull it down? Who shall go under the earth and pull it up? For the word of Torah, the word of Yeshua, the same thing, is nigh unto thee. It is even in thy heart, even in thy mouth. And Rav Shaul said in Romans chapter 9, this is the word of faith, Romans chapter 10, which we preach. It's not hard.
It's not a burden.
But if you can't do the Torah, remember those poles sticking out of the Holy of Holies. Yahweh says, my Ruach, my presence is not a guarantee, it's a gift. Yesterday's prophet is tomorrow's banker. Yesterday's pastor is tomorrow's homeless beggar. You can't live on your laurels of what you did 35, 40 years ago in the kingdom of Yahweh. You've got to always be abiding and thus producing fruit. And the poles sticking out of the set-apart place were a reminder, Israel, I'm here by my choice. I'm here by my own volition. I'm here by my own choosing. But I could leave you, and he did. Because the second temple, he didn't live in. Did you know that? See, the rabbis teach, oh, well, you know, in 70 AD, the temple was destroyed. Yahweh's presence was destroyed long before that. That cord, that scarlet cord that used to turn from red to white, stopped turning white. Meaning they were no longer forgiven. Israel, this was 200-300 years before Yeshua came. The Nicanor doors that led into the Holy of Holies, it was no longer a curtain. It was doors, the Nicanor doors, and behind it was a curtain. And the Nicanor doors, the priest would open it, and Yahweh would shut it. They would open it, and the Talmud says that they shut by themselves. Those doors, those 2-ton steel doors, gold-plated steel doors, would shut by themselves. The priest would open it, and Yahweh would shut it. Get the point? Yeah. Meaning, I'm not here anymore. I've moved out. And so those poles sticking out of the curtain in Solomon's temple was, hey, the chariot can always move. I'm here by my own choice. Is anyone with me?
Yes.
Look at that verse 8. The poles were seen from the middle chamber, the set-apart place, sticking out. They were not seen, but they were not seen from outside. Meaning the poles weren't seen, but the ends of the poles were seen.
Yeah.
Hello? Turn to your neighbor and say the poles were not seen. I'm not talking about Polish people, I'm talking about poles. Okay? The poles were not seen. The protrusion of the poles was seen. Are you with me? Baruch Hashem Yahweh. Can you give me some hankies, please? Anyone? Sarah, can you give me some hankies? Please. Make them thick. Bounty, please. So now you are ready for the dangerous chapter. Now you are ready for the illegal chapter. Turn to your neighbor and say, now we're going to get illegal. Not the point, now the illegality. We are not allowed to study this chapter according to Jewish law, but we will. Because I'm not bound by Jewish law, I'm bound by Torah.
Amen.
And Jewish law and Torah are not always one and the same thing. Is anyone with me?
That's right. That's right.
Yahweh Yeshua is the driver of the chariot. And when we grow in Yeshua, you know what it means? It means he's allowed you to get back into the seat and giving you a closer glimpse of the driver who is showing you more things. He's showing you the road up ahead. He's showing you the things up ahead. He's showing you the destiny up ahead. Thank you. He's showing you all these things because he is comfortably in the driver's seat. Yeshua is the original Greyhound. You get your rear end on board, hey! And leave the driving to us. Who's us? Me and Papa. Papa's dispatching, I'm driving. Get on board and leave the driving to us. And Yeshua said, but don't take my Shekhinah, the Ark of the Covenant, my presence among you for granted. And when they rejected his son Yahshua, what happened to the presence of Yahweh? It went into whomsoever will. The Ruach HaKodesh went into the bodies of whomsoever, and we are collectively the bride of Yeshua, the body of Yeshua. Are you with me? Come on. How did we get saved? Yahweh took the driver of the chariot, pulled up in your doorstep, and put his son, the driver, right into your garage. And through that eye-opening revelation, it is now Mashiach in me. Colossians 1:27 says, Mashiach in you, the hope of glory. My hope is not being more Jewish than the Jews. My hope is not having longer tzitzit. My goal is not to become somebody or something or attain some position or station in life. My goal is to chill out and let the driver drive. I want to spend all the days of my life in the Merkavah. I want to be like Elisha's servant who had his eyes open and saw not just that the captain was present, but the captain's chariots. He owns more than one chariot. That Ark of the Covenant was symbolic of the fact that he owned many chariots and many chariots of fire and many horses of fire that were not parked in the Holy of Holies that could be there at a moment's notice.
That's right.
Is any of this hitting home? Now the forbidden chapter. You'll never forget this lesson. How Yahweh moved into the Holy of Holies after he had finished giving Torah with the chariot.
Now it's forbidden.
And I'll tell you something else. That chariot in the Holy, that Ark of the Covenant is called by Scripture Yahweh's chariot. Yeah. Did you know that? We just read that.
Yeah.
We just read that.
His personal chariot.
His presence. The Ark of the Covenant.